Welcome to MINDSHIFT Yoga. This is a beginner series of foundations. Today we're going to talk about DRISHTI, or gaze, and focus, and why it's important. And this is maybe something you don't want to hear, because most people believe that they can multitask, and we cannot. The brain cannot do two things at once. You can do one thing in the subconscious mind, but one thing that you're doing requires some consciousness, some focus to it, the one that's important. Like, for example, you can walk and talk to a person. However, right, you're not conscious of your walking, you're conscious of your talking, So what's important in my leadership training, when I do coaching for CEOs and for other people, for teams that want to collaborate together, the one thing I'll start with was, you have to master focus. You have to be in doing one thing, and in staying uncomfortable in that doing one thing. It's a little harder than we believe, and we're going to practice it in a second. So we focus on one thing, we do one thing, we make a clearing for it, we stay uncomfortable, and then we'll find an edge in that one thing. And the way we practice this in yoga, in every yoga class, you'll hear the teacher say, DRISHTI, take one point that doesn't move and look at it. You'll hear that often. And it's basically the practice that you can bring to everything in your life. As an example, if you're eating food, well, if you're like me, a lot of times I'm eating food in front of the TV, and I don't think that's good, because you're doing two things badly. Like, we're not paying attention to the person next to us, we're not paying attention to the food. There used to be a time we ate at the table. And I think that's a tradition that we should bring back. Paying attention to eating and being with people right there. And it's amazing. It's an amazing transformation when you learn to focus on one thing. So we're going to practice our DRISHTI today. And we're going to hold our DRISHTI for approximately 30 seconds. And so I want you to find one spot that doesn't move. One spot in front of you somewhere. Make your gaze towards that spot. It's a soft gaze, not a hard gaze. You're not staring at it like creepy, looking. You're just gazing at it, looking at it, until it becomes one with you. So take a deep breath in, exhale it out, and take a spot that doesn't move. One DRISHTI, one spot. Focusing on the gaze. You may have a thought or an urge to go away. Just focus, come back on the gaze. Be in the discovery and the observation of this one spot, the details of it. The power of it. See how everything else becomes blurry beside it. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And notice how maybe your mind calmed down a bit. Maybe things that you were aware of around that spot were still visible but blurry, not as focused. And that's the practice of focus, DRISHTI, or gaze. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you'll join us for another session of the MINDSHIFT Yoga.